flight wings attached to them. And I'll show you some pictures. There are a whole bunch of bones in birds, but don't worry about any of them except the keel. Keel is the bone that flight muscles attached to it. They all have feathers, but not all can fly. Of course, you know that. Chickens, they can fly a little bit, but not much. Ostrich, no way ostrich can fly. So, but the other birds. Penguins, okay? But different types of feathers. Okay, here is the Archaeopteryx lithographica, which was in stone, and they're guessing this was the picture. Okay, so this is the fossil record of it, and they're assuming that is the picture. Okay, different type of feather. Well, the most common one is the vane feather, V-A-N-E feather. Okay, and then we have Dawn, Philippoplume, and Bristol. There are different type of feathers. There is more than this, but the most common type of feather is the vane feather. Just you've seen it in movies. And in old days, they used to write with it, and so on and so forth. Here's a vane feather. The anatomy of it, I would expect you to know this. The quail is the tip of the bird, that tip of the feather that attaches to the bird. And then this whole entire structure from here on up is called vane. Vane is made up of a shaft. Remember, this is shaft, which is covered with barb, and then a quail does not have any barb. Okay, so you have the shaft right here, where the actual feather is, and the actual feather is made up of barb and barbule. We do have the slide of it. If you want to look at it on a microscope, you're more than welcome, but we don't have lab practical exam. The barb are the ones that are attaching to the shaft. Quail does not attach to any barb. Does not have any barb. Okay, so these are the barb right here. They magnified it for you. Attached to the shaft right here, and attached to the barb is barbule. So barbule and barb are very microscopic. You can look at it naked eye too, but they're microscopic. You can look at them on a microscope, and then of course quail, you do not have this on the microscope slide, but you can see portion of the shaft as well. We have to look which slide has it. Yes, Jose, please. Vane, okay, thank you. Vane is this whole entire thing is called vane. Vane includes shaft, barb, and barbule. So all of this is called vane. Yes?
So the barb is connected to the shaft.
Very good.
The barbule is connected to the barb.
Very good. That's it. That's the whole idea. And that's, if you talk to aerodynamic people a little bit, they said this is the best design, how to fly. Of course, except the planes. For the flying, it helps with the flying. Okay, anyhow. There are another adaptations, not the only feather, but another adaptations birds evolve is the air sacs. They have lungs, but they have air sacs. Air sacs, they are chambers of air in these animals that can make them lighter. There's one more adaptation, I will talk about that the birds evolve. And so the animal can fly because of the feather, because of the air sacs, abundance of air sacs in the animal. The reservoirs of the air sacs act as a reservoir. Here we go. Or what advantage of this type? What are advantages of this type? Makes the animals more buoyant. Buoyancy, you know, we talked about that in, what was it, in Nautilus. You remember that? They talked about it, we talked about it in Nautilus. Here there are different type of wing. You're not taking ornithology. You're already swamped with a lot of information. But don't worry about it. I don't think I will ask any question on this one. I used to, but since, don't worry about it too much. Okay, the one thing that I want you, another adaptation that birds evolve in order to allow them to fly is their spongy bone. You remember from the beginning of semester we talked about spongy bone? They have a massive spongy bone. The compact bone, they do have compact bone too, but just this much. In us, in human, the animals on land, our compact bone would be thicker. This much, and then we have a little bit of spongy bone, and then we have thicker compact bone. These animals, they have very thin compact bone, but the rest of it is spongy one. And why is that? That's an adaptation for being able to fly. It makes the animals lighter. Okay, I was in 8 Mile Road Park the other day. I looked at the Canadian geese. I'm not kidding you. They stand right close to you and they look you in the eye. They're not afraid of human anymore. And those animals, those birds are huge. I mean, you have not got close to them and they have the ability to fly. Air sacs, one of them, the feather, and the other one, those are huge animals. And of course, the bones. The bones do not have much of a compact bone. And then another thing that you should know is the keel. Keel is for what? They have sternum. They have sternum, but they have keel. Some animals, the sternum and keel are separate, but they have, what is keel for? I just mentioned it. Attach the muscles. Remember, attach the muscles that are responsible for flying. Flight muscles are attached to keel. Flight muscles are attached to keel. Here is a comparison of the ancient bird Archaeopteryx with modern bird bones. If you take ornithology, maybe they talk about it. I never had it. Here is the cladogram of birds. They had a common ancestor, and of course they evolved from reptiles. Mammalogy. Mammals. 2 mammals lay eggs. The rest of mammals, they're viviparous. They give birth, right? Human is viviparous. I did toss those terms from beginning of semester to you guys. Functions, marsupials, they are another group of animals. The only marsupials we have in North America is opossum. Is that right? That's a marsupial of North America. But good examples of marsupials that you guys know is what? Kangaroos, wallabies, they have a sac in front of them that the young can go inside of that sac after they give birth to them. So that's what we call marsupials animals. They have a sac that the young goes in there. Function of hair protection, insulation, and behavior. Of course, I talked about this at the beginning of semester. When the hair sticks out, it shows the animal is bigger when they get into a fight, right? Am I making some sense? We get goosebumps, of course, when we are scared, but the hair in us is not much, so there's actually no reason for us to have much of a hair, but for now. Homothermic, it means their body temperature is constant, does not fluctuate. If your body temperature goes up high, you have fever, Houston, you got a problem. Okay, difference between anapsid, synapsid, and synapsid, I talked about that. Right? And we human are synapse. Is that right? We human are synapse. We have one opening behind us. Yes? Yes, platypus right here. Platypus and spiny anteaters. Those are the two. There's a good book if you want to read about philosophy this summer. It has some dirty jokes, but it's okay. But it's a good philosophy. They explain philosophy based on the jokes. Platypus and Plato went to a bar, something like that. I can dig it out. Interesting. But anyhow, platypus, they lay eggs, and of course, the spiny anteaters, those two species are the ones that they lay eggs. Okay, digestive system, something about digestive system. All have teeth except some whales and anteaters. They are insectivores, herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, and I hope you all know what they mean. Insectivores, it means animals that eat insects. Herbivores, animals that eat vegetation. Carnivores, animals that eat other animals. And then omnivores, animals that eat both vegetation and meat. We human are classified as omnivore. Pig is an omnivore. Those are two animals, top of my head, that are classified as omnivores. What is cecum and its function? Cecum is a portion of digestive system that can store food. Not all animals have them. We have a small cecum pouch right at the end of our large intestine, but really they store food for the animals. Here is a herbivore that they have. This is a ruminant animal like cow, sheep. They're all called ruminant animals. The stomach has 4 chambers: rumen, reticulum, omasum, and abomasum. 4 chambers of the stomach of ruminant animals: sheep, cow, I said, deer. And they also have a cecum as well. So after they eat food, they regurgitate it back into the mouth and they chew it again. And of course, this time it goes through the small intestine, and some of it can be stored in cecum. These guys usually do not have cecum. They're insectivores. The non-ruminant herbivores, again, they do have a cecum a little bit, and carnivores is very reduced cecum. And we human, as I said, we do have a very reduced cecum as well. Here is a population ecology. The number of the birds increase, so they are the food for the predators, but the predators start eating them. So then the population of the predators increase, the population of the birds decrease. Lack of food for predators causes the population of course, the predators ate a lot of birds, and then over a period of time, since the predators are dying because of lack of food, then the population of the birds go up and then down, and same as it reaches to the level where the predators are on top and prey on the bottom, and so on and so forth. It's a population ecology, something your textbook mentioned. My Earth, we are not using it, but we are using it. That's Amir assadi-rad saying. It's not. Throughout the semester, you've heard famous saying from everybody, from Bill Gates, Mother Teresa, I don't know, Shakespeare. You've heard it all, but one that Amir has to say is the Ma Earth. We are not using it. We are abusing it, I think. And then, of course, at the end of your package, Ma Earth, and I talked about that, your package of the docu-share, 27, 28 pages, I have the story of Mother Earth. Mother Earth threw a party and first invites a bacteria. Bacteria comes to Mother Earth, and they help Mother Earth to scoop up and get things clean and get food ready for the party. And the very last people who come to the party are human. They arrive. The Mother Earth go to the grocery shopping, buy stuff at noon, and then invite the bacteria, show up around 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. And then we human show up at midnight, and then we are trashing the party. Dinosaurs show up around I read it. The dinosaurs. I will not ask you for the what time, but I will ask you who showed up after who or when. You should know what that is.
Party analogy?
Yeah. In your exam, say Ma Earth question. Who came after dinosaurs, for example? Or who was invited to the party last? Who came to the party last? Who is trashing the party? Who were first to the party? Who helped Mother Earth? Read it. This is just one page, and I hope after you read it once, it will stick here. You don't have to read it, maybe you have to read it 2-3 times. But all of the events, it's interesting. I should put it up and read it, but it's a long one. Mother Teresa continues. Adriel, Mother Teresa continues. Honesty and frankness makes you vulnerable. Be honest and frank anyway. No, some people do not like that. But I like it, kind of, to be honest, to be sincere. It will pays off at the end. Okay. People favor underdogs, but follow only top dogs. You know, in sports, we usually favor underdogs, and that's the only time we favor underdogs in sports, I guess. That's how I am. I don't know who is in Super Bowl, but ask, when you guys tell me who is in Super Bowl, ask who is underrated, who is the underdog, and then I root for that team. What you spent years building may be destroyed overnight, build anyway. I told you that story. There was a revolution in a country. I should turn it off. There was a revolution in a country, and what happened